Brilliant. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you an intro class on how you can use essential oils to support you as a woman. I know we have a few guys in here, but really as a woman when it comes to promoting your health and your wellness. So, this class, you're welcome if you are brand new to essential oils. If you have been around here for a while, if you're already using them, you are going to get so much value. So, what I'm going to invite you to do is to grab a notepad and grab a pen. And I'm going to share slides, but what I want you to really just do is just notice what's relating to you. So I'll share slides, I'll share recipes, I'll share diffuser combos and different things, but everyone in here has different needs. So take what lands with you. And don't focus on like writing down and screenshotting and all those different things. I want you to take key messages that apply to you. Excuse me. So with all that said, I'm going to share my screen. I hope you can see that. Okay. So essential oils for women who want to optimize their wellness and feel lit up every day. So we all know that wellness isn't just one thing, and wellness isn't just about doing things externally. When we think about our physical selves, we have to be well in our body, but we also have to be well in our mind and have some sort of level of resilience and mental strength when we juggle and combat all the different things that life throws at us as women. So I'm going to just share a little bit of background to give you some context of where I'm coming from doing this class. And particularly if you're brand new. Let's see if we are having technology problems today. There we go. Okay, so if you're new around here, I'll just give you a little bit of background, as I said, to give you some context. So my name is Alison Clark. I am the founder of the Life Switch Co. And I have been using essential oils personally for about 7 years now. But prior to owning a business, I worked in the financial services space. I worked in wealth management, and I worked in a quite intense, high pressurized environment. Don't get me wrong, I had a fabulous career for about 10 years in banking, but that came with all of the complexities that women have to navigate through in the corporate world. So high pressure, dealing with some perhaps overpowering personalities, trying to just juggle it all. And as you kind of need to zoom out and look back to kind of get some perspective. But at the time, I can certainly identify that my autopilot emotion was overwhelmed. So I had very weak boundaries. I was very much so a yes woman or a people pleaser. And a bit of a perfectionist, trying to get everything right, and really just trying to get ahead as a woman in the corporate world. And whilst I was juggling career, I was also going into like 7 a.m. fertility meetings with consultants, getting fertility treatment. So I was trying to like juggle all of that. And ultimately, and eventually what happened was I burnt out. So I was going through all of this, and I started to identify that I wasn't the only woman in the world that was dealing with all of this. And certainly there were common themes and threads with women in the corporate world. And also I met other women that were going through fertility treatment as well, and they were struggling with their hormones. And there were definitely common themes and a lot of stress. And stress means different things to different people, but it can be triggered by many different things, very real problems, and very kind of psychological things as well. So for example, we as human beings, our brains are designed to do two things ultimately. One, avoid pain, the other, seek pleasure. So ultimately, our brain is always scanning to see if there's threats in the environment. So for example, when we were cave women, what would happen was we would always be trying to stay away from like tigers. We wanted to stay safe, and our body has this incredible ability to initiate what's called a fight or flight response. So when we come into danger, we can run. But in today's world, when we are not running from a saber-toothed tiger, we are still encountering what we perceive to be dangers. So the dangers, when I say psychological, they might be something that's as simple as, feeling under pressure when it comes to responding to emails. And we can feel stressed when that kind of builds up. And our brain doesn't know the difference between I'm running from a tiger or I have all of this work that I need to get done, and initiates the same response. In other words, we are going into fight or flight. And that is not supportive for women. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a bit of context of what was happening. So that was about 7 years ago. I was introduced to essential oils by my cousin, actually, who's a nutritional therapist. And I was asking her for support primarily as well, because I was undergoing a lot of digestive problems. I had a lot of, I was kind of picking up all these different things that came my way, sort of very weakened immune system. And she invited me to start using, essential oils to help balance that and support me on a lifestyle basis. And I was a bit skeptical. I'd never used anything like that was kind of deemed alternative or holistic. And she gave me a blend to actually help me focus and concentrate. And I just found that it just had such a knock-on effect on not just my focus and concentration, but when it came to my sleep and just feeling calm throughout the day. So that was 7 years ago, and I just fell in love with the oils. I was very blown away, and I wanted to be able to share them with other women who were in a similar boat to what I was in those many, many years ago, because truly essential oils can be used not just in one area, but they can be used in loads of different areas, as you're going to learn today. So today, just to give you a bit of context, I'm a licensed executive coach. I am also a certified health coach. So those years ago, I went back and I studied how to support women when it comes to their health, and I have been coaching women in that space, and I've impacted hundreds of women over the last few years. In 2016, I partnered with doTERRA. doTERRA is the essential oil brand that you're going to learn all about today, and within 3 years in, we reached a multi-high six-figure business, and we developed what's called a diamond team, so basically the top 7% in doTERRA as a company. So it's a pretty cool accomplishment. So anyway, that's just to give you kind of a little bit of background of where I'm coming from. So I've kind of touched on this already today, but what is the big issue for women today? So we kind of are living in this whole hustle culture where we are constantly turned on, and not in the right way when I say that we're turned on. We are device central. We are constantly, I know we try to set up boundaries, but we are spending more time on technology, and we're kind of expected to be all these different things to different people. And that has even amplified as we have all started working from home. We are wearing busy badges and trying to be productive and max out every minute of the day. And yes, it's important. It's important to grow. It's important to feel that you're progressing and you're quote unquote productive. But that can lead into a self-inflicted perfectionism. And as a result, we put extra pressure on ourselves, which means that we get less downtime and that we feel overwhelmed and on tender hooks. And, I know I'm talking about women specifically, but I genuinely have this passion for women, and especially when it comes to women in leadership, because we are the people who are really juggling it all. And there certainly is a gender gap out there. And that's part of what I'm all about. It's really about raising women, elevating women so they can really accomplish what it is that they are working towards in their life and in their careers. So why are essential oils part of the solution? Well, the beautiful thing about essential oils is that they work so quickly, as we're going to see in the next couple of slides, and they can change the way that we respond to stressful triggers and situations. So as you know, we can start our day up here feeling good, and all it takes is perhaps an email or a text, and it can change our mood. We can get triggered, within milliseconds, and we can be proactive when it comes to supporting our mood and our emotions and how we respond to stressful situations when it comes to oils. And they're incredibly powerful tools that help us stay focused and get focused in an instant. And the beautiful thing is that no matter what it is that we're dealing with day to day, there is always an upgrade available to you. So when you feel a certain way, you can grab an essential oil and you can change your outlook and your mood and even the way that you're thinking within a minute. You can choose. So as I mentioned, that upgrade is available to you, but you have to choose it. So you can choose to be lit up every day and getting really, really kind of on top of your emotions and how you're feeling yourself. And oils can be used in every area of your life. So I know I'm focusing a lot on emotions, but they can be used in all areas. So when we're going to be going through that today when we look at the various different, lifestyle strategies that we can start to embody and create for ourselves. We can feel calm on demand. So as I mentioned, when we feel stressed, we have that access to calm, and they just create and promote great health. because we get to low tox our mind, low tox our bodies, and low tox our homes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by just kind of really going back to basics and sharing what an essential oil actually is. Well, first of all, it's an extract from a plant. It's highly concentrated and it's between 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. So if you look at this image here in front of you, that's actually an image of a peppermint leaf or a peppermint plant. And that magnified image is actually what that peppermint leaf looks like underneath the microscope. So you'll notice that there are these like little white oil sacs, and that's actually where the essential oil is kept. And the essential oil is on that plant, not just to give us, the beautiful aroma that it does, but it's actually there because it's the life force of the plant. It's the plant's, for lack of a better word, the plant's immune system. So the really incredible thing about, essential oils and plants and humans is that we as human beings have a very, very, very similar makeup as plants. We're carbon-based, we're cells, we're living organisms. So when we get essential oils from plants and use them for ourselves, they go to work for us as if they would for the plant. So they're there to provide the plant what it needs, all those antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral properties. It helps to cleanse toxins and oxygenate cells. So we have access to that in an instant. So when we're using them, they are incredibly concentrated and we only need like the tiniest little bit for it to go to work. So for example, if you think of even like the peppermint example that I have here, if you've ever made a mojito and you have the peppermint leaf in front of you and you squash the peppermint in your hands, you get that beautiful aroma. But when we think of 1 drop of peppermint essential oil, that 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is the equivalent of 28 cups of peppermint tea. So it is extremely, extremely potent. So what I want to do is just kind of give you a bit of an insight into the industry and all the various different grades of essential oils. When we used to teach like direct workshops, pre everyone working from home, this was like a question that would come up a lot, like what's the difference between all the different peppermint oils and all the different lavender oils and all the different blends and all the different brands that are out there. And the first thing that I just want to note is that the essential oil industry is not regulated. And, when something isn't regulated, it means that anything can be put into a bottle or into packaging and labeled as anything. So you could basically label a bottle of water as essential oil, and there's no regulatory body overseeing that. So anything goes. So unfortunately, as a result of that, you can pick up a bottle of something called essential oil, but it can be completely adulterated, completely synthetic. It could just be like a filler and a fragrance, which is what the vast majority of the industry is, especially if you're familiar with going into maybe like a pen shop, or like if I even think about Lidl and Aldi around Christmas time, there are, aromatherapy sets, and, you see, like warm fire flavor essential oil, like they're just burning oils to create fragrance, but they are not essential oil. Essential oils are from plants only. But unfortunately, there's a lot of mislabeling out there. So unfortunately, the vast majority of the industry is synthetic. And then if you look at the green segment of that pie, we're looking at food grade. So food grade is basically when we're using something that's an extract from a plant that is, that's there for flavoring. So for example, if you see like an orange extract or a vanilla extract that you use in baking, that's a good example of that. And then when we think about the therapeutic grade essential oils, there are certainly therapeutic grade essential oils out there. So for example, like if you go to a spa and have like an aromatherapy massage and they use, essential oils to help you feel calm and relaxed, to enhance your experience, that's what it means when, you see the word therapeutic. But actually, the word or the grade of essential oils that you're going to learn about today is called CPTG. So that stands for Certified Pure Tested Grade. And that stands for a couple of things. Number 1 is purity. And that's the most, I suppose, important thing for us to be aware of, especially when the industry is so it's so unregulated, and things are, oils and products are being mislabeled. But CPTG basically reflects a couple of different things. Number one, that essential oil has been sourced and harvested from a plant that's grown in its indigenous environment. So when we think about an indigenous environment, we're talking about, I have a couple of countries mentioned there, like Nepal, Haiti, Oman, Kenya, Somalia, Madagascar. There are many, many, many different locations that doTERRA go out and source the essential oils from. Firstly, because when you go out to the indigenous environment, you have everything that plant needs to thrive naturally. You're talking about everything from sunlight to rainfall to the pH level of the soil. The amount of influences within an environment create the quality of what it is that we're using. When I started using about essential oils, I was like, oh, this is like when you think about, getting a good grape when it comes to wine. There are so many different factors depending on the region, depending on the winery, depending on the sun, all of that. It's the exact same when it comes to essential oils. But when we think about all these different plants that are really, really potent that we want to tap into, a lot of them come from countries that are under the poverty line. So we're talking about underdeveloped countries. And when we think about those really hot climates, for example, so if we think about even frankincense is sourced from Somalia and from Oman. And, those are really, really extremely hot, barren, when we think about the land. And that's what frankincense needs to thrive. And if we were to try and harvest that, for example, here locally in Ireland, we would never get anywhere near the quality of the resin. It just wouldn't happen. And similarly, if we think about, plants that are available here within Ireland. So for example, even if we think about lavender essential oil is grown, like, for example, in my back garden, but it's not the same species of plant, for example, that is, grown in the Bulgarian valleys, when it's, next to the Black Sea and protected by these big, massive mountains and hills. So there's no wind impacting the plant quality. So when you go out to an indigenous environment, you're going to get a completely different quality of plant. But the beautiful thing is that with doTERRA, they have a beautiful sourcing model called co-impact sourcing. So when doTERRA as a company are going out and sourcing this plant or this plant material, they're not going out and buying up land. They are working with the local farmers and with the local people that have had that land for generations, and they're helping them to develop it. So they're helping create abundance within these developing economies and working with all of these incredibly skillful people that are unfortunately have been exploited in many, many, many ways over, over their lifetime as they've been harvesting plants. And unfortunately, when we think about the essential oil industry, literally, it's all driven on kind of what we think about their supply chain or logistics. There's a lot of middlemen, there's a lot of essential oil brokers. And things are, as it goes through middlemen, oils get adulterated, and that's kind of how, how the industry is kind of like, that's the baseline, that's standard practice within the aromatherapy industry. However, that's not the case with doTERRA. We go straight to the source, and it's sourced to you. So it comes directly back to you. So it's sourced, it's harvested really skillfully, really gently, and then it goes back to a chemistry lab and it gets tested for purity. So it's made sure that it hasn't been adulterated on the way. It's being tested to make sure that the compounds and the therapeutic benefits that we seek are present. Because if we think about it, weather changes and there's many, many different influencing factors that impact the quality of that plant. So the only way to test to make sure that the quality is there is to do various different testing practices. So doTERRA tests in-house, and then it goes to an external body who approve it as well, and they test it. And then it gets certified, a certified pure therapeutic grade. And it's actually, many of doTERRA's essential oils are actually bottled right here in County Cork in Ireland, in Blarney. Is it Blarney? It's in Blarney, yeah. It actually, that bottling facility, big, massive investment in County Cork, which is fantastic to see. It opened last year, but because of lockdowns, we haven't actually gotten a chance to go down yet. But anyway, just one thing that I wanted to share here is actually we got the shout out on Forbes. It's kind of like a big deal when you're getting recognized by Forbes. I'm sure many of you are aware of it. It's global business publication, and we got this was the headline that doTERRA reinvents supply chain for impact on poverty. So what we're giving back is just powerful. So that's what essential oils are. That is, how we get them. That's how we know about, that they're safe to use, that they're effective. And certainly as I walk through the various different ways throughout the rest of this workshop, this applies to the oils that are certified pure tested grade. So just if you have different essential oils at home, just err on the side of caution. Always testing is knowing that an essential oil is tested is your level of comfort. It's certainly my level of comfort when I'm using something, for example, on myself or on my baby, or taking it internally, for example. So what actually happens when we use essential oils? Well, certainly when I was introduced to essential oils, I was like, oh, woo-woo, just like an old wives' tale. I just was very kind of roll my eyes. And I remember actually when I was in college and, we'd be going into the exam hall and I'd see people outside at Rescue Remedies. I would used to kind of like laugh at them going, oh, you're taking, this kind of stuff that, doesn't help. And I was so close to it. And then it was only in my hour of need that I really discovered, I really opened up to the idea of essential oils. And it was really when I learned about the science behind them that I was like, oh, this is really, really powerful. And it blew me away a bit. So when we use an essential oil, they are getting to work on us as human beings in two different ways. So they're just going to work. We're not telling them what to do. It's just literally going to work automatically. So they work on us on a cellular level. So just to break that down, when we think about us as human beings, we are made up of like trillions of cells, and every single cell that we have has a cell membrane. So if you look at that image on the left, the cellular response, that's a picture of a cell, and you'll notice that there is a cell membrane, and the membrane is there to protect the cell. And that little kind of like green gloopy glob or blob, that actually is bacteria. So when we think about if we get like a bacterial infection or something like that, what happens is the bacteria sits outside of the cell, and we feel unwell. And in the past, I would have gone to like the GP if I felt sick, or if I used to always get like UTIs or like throat infections. They were kind of my common things when I get run down, and I would get an antibiotic. That was kind of like the run of the mill. And as I started learning about essential oils, I learned that oregano essential oil is highly antibacterial. So now when I feel run down, I can reach for oregano if I feel like an infection or something coming on. So what's interesting to note is that the bacteria in that image, it actually lies outside of the cell. And if you look at the image inside the cell, you'll notice that there's a purpley or pinky color spiky thing. And that's actually a virus. So when we think about viruses, the thing that makes viruses really, really tricky is that they penetrate into the cell. And when we think about an antibiotic, for example, you go to the GP will tell you there's very little you can do for a virus because, it gets into the cell, and traditional standard medication can't penetrate in through the cell membrane. However, because essential oils have these tiny, teeny little molecules, they can actually penetrate in through the cell membrane and get to work at inhibiting that virus from reproducing. So that means that it is giving your body an opportunity to fend it off and get better. So what's really powerful is that when we feel something coming on, we can grab essential oils to support ourselves, or even better, we can be proactive if we know that there are threats within our environment. So when I say this, I say it very much so that this goes hand in hand with, our traditional, medical system, with all the different things that are out there. So the way I approach essential oils when it comes to supporting my health, if I'm feeling unwell, is that essential oils are my first line of defense, and they are my way of being proactive. It's not about waiting until something's developed or until I'm feeling run down or I'm feeling like rubbish. It's about being proactive. And it can really impact, kind of your approach to how you feel in yourself, in your body, et cetera, et cetera. So that's when we think about it on a cellular response. But you will probably think of essential oils as, as something that is emotional support, and that is most definitely what they are. So yes, they're working on a cellular level in our body, but they are also working on us emotionally. So the incredible thing about our sense of smell is that when we smell something, so if that's an essential oil, for example, in a diffuser, or an essential oil, and actually, I don't even have, isn't that funny now? Before I started this live, I should have had a bottle in front of me. I'll just take a rollerball out. So for example, I have a rollerball here. When I smell, if you think of anything, we have this powerful sense of smell. So when you smell, the aroma is impacting your olfactory bulb, which impacts your limbic system, which is basically what is responsible for the way you feel, your emotion seat within your brain. So we can directly influence how we're feeling by our sense of smell. However, when we think about aroma, when we think about like essential oils that can go to work on our cells, and then there's fragrance. So fragrance will smell, it'll have an aroma, but it won't physically do anything to us on a cellular level. But when we think about essential oils, I'm going to use the example of frankincense. When we smell, it impacts our limbic system, but it actually accesses the emotion seat within our brain. So it has this incredible ability to penetrate through that blood-brain barrier and really calm us down when we feel stressed. So when we think about, I'll use the term amygdala hijacked. So when we think about our brain, we have this part of our brain. And when something triggers us, it has this ability to just like go into high alert. And when that happens, it can kind of create this bigger situation, or as I like to call it, a storm in a teacup out of nothing. But what happens is when we use frankincense essential oil, and we're smelling it, it can impact, it's going in, we're smelling it, we can just smell it from the bottle. And what it's doing, it's helping our body to regulate. So it is calming us down. And it can take us out of like that real fight or flight. Our body's in that sympathetic state when we think about our nervous system, and it's calming us down. So that is powerful. So powerful. And when something is, when we're perceiving something to be stressful, we can change our mindset within a second. Incredible. So there are 3 ways that we can use oil. So I'm going to go through these real quick. And actually, what I'll invite you to do is just to maybe jot down what resonates with you the most, because there is a lot in these slides, but feel free to take screenshots or use them as you need them. But when we think about aromatic use, that's smelling. So we can think of, our sense of smell. So we can either smell from our hands, we can have an essential oil diffuser going, like for example, the one in the picture. And we use essential oils aromatically because they can clean the air. So if we think of the example that I gave with On Guard, we can pop some essential oil or some On Guard into a diffuser, and it's doing that for us. It can adjust the mood. So if we're feeling in a mood, or if somebody else is in a mood in our family, we can change their mood pretty much by diffusing. So we can uplift the mood if it feels real scatty, or if there's something going on, we can ground it. We can basically change the energy and the environment within our homes by using diffusers. So it's powerful. So if you think about it, even going to bed, changing the environment. We're spending more and more time at home now as well, which is another thing. But what we can do is we can alter and we can change the environment as we need. We use essential oils aromatically to open up the airways. So when we think about when we're breathing, we can really, really deepen and breathe more clearly when we are diffusing something that's supportive to the respiratory system. And one of the most things that I love most about the diffuser is that I can replace synthetic fragrance with aroma. So when we think about fragrance is a chemical. And there's bodies and bodies and bodies of research that show how synthetic fragrance is worse for you than smoking. And all the different toxins that are in our homes actually make our homes more polluted than outside. So being able to low tox your home and replace synthetic fragrance, so like plugins and scented candles and all that kind of thing, with natural plant-based aroma is one of the best things you can do, personally speaking. And so I have a couple of examples there of how you might like to use essential oils aromatically. So I've included, setting up a bedtime environment that's real calming, how to cleanse the air. And also, if you have a 3 p.m. slump, you can easily get yourself out of that slump with some oils. Okay, so when we think about using essential oils topically, well, why would we bother using essential oils topically? Like the aromatic sounds incredible, doesn't it? Like all those different ways that you can use it. Well, actually, there's many reasons why we'd use essential oils topically. Number one is that they're transdermal, so they can penetrate through the skin. So they get to work extremely fast and they're within our bloodstream within 30 seconds. And we can get systematic localized effects. So for example, if I have like a pain somewhere or an ache, I can apply an essential oil to that area and it'll help soothe it. So for example, if I have digestive discomfort, I can apply topically to the skin. The essential oils will absorb through the skin and give me that localized support. We can use essential oils with massage. So I mentioned about like if I had a sore shoulder, I can massage that in, which expedites and improves the absorption. And also it provides immediate comfort because it works so quick, you can feel the results pretty much straight away. So again, I've listed a couple of examples. So I'm not going to go through every single one of them. But one of my favorites is using essential oil, particularly an essential oil grounding blend called Balance. What I love to do is massage that around my ears. We all have these acupressure points within our ears that are linked to our spine. So when we are massaging that into our ears, it's like giving ourselves a really good back massage. And also it's so grounding. So when we feel that we're working and we're hunched over and we're kind of a bit stressed, it helps to center us, ground us, and helps us experience less tension. So who doesn't want that? I love using lavender, for example, over my womb area for like period pains. We can use them when we feel that we're, let me see, I'll just pick out one or two. When we feel overwhelmed, you can put some tea tree here. Cross here is a really good spot for alleviating overwhelm. And I just want to also mention that these essential oils are totally safe to use with your children and with your babies. I've been using these on my son since he was literally 3 days old. And he is just, we have all of that with, as I mentioned earlier on, with the medical system, but he can, he thrives if he gets run down, if he gets a little cough or anything. I just go straight in with oils, and he thankfully has never had to take any kind of medication, and he's over 1.5 now, and we've never had to, go through any of the different things that a lot of parents have to deal with when their kids have things like chest infections, ear infections. I've been using oils for teething, nappy rash, you name it, he's gotten it. And and he loves his little oils. So the big thing is when it comes to kids is that you can use essential oils, however you want to make sure that they're diluted appropriately. And as you use essential oils, and you're welcomed into our community, and you get all of that, all of those resources, so you know exactly what to do. Okay, so last but not least is internally. So again, I just want to caveat that you're aware that this applies only to certified pure tested grade oils. So I would never use something, for example, like on my son or on myself, or take something internally unless I knew it was safe to do so. And essential oils are so potent at the end of the day. They are chemistry. So it's important that the grades are there. So anyway, internal use. Why would we use essential oils internally? Well, number one, it helps the body to detoxify, which is important in this day and age. As I mentioned, we're surrounded by toxins. So when we think about like even the fluoride in our water, the pesticides on our food, the pollution, all of the different fragrances, our bodies and particularly our livers are being overworked. So our liver has to metabolize and detox all of the different things that we're exposed to. And when that's overloaded, it can't do what it's supposed to do. So really, really fend off the real threats and metabolize all the, supports the immune system. Anyway, I'm going a bit too much into it. But it helps to detoxify the body. So using an essential oil, for example, like lemon or tangerine or grapefruit. So really our citrus oils are going to be extremely detoxifying. They help to support the digestive system. So you can pop in some peppermint, for example. I mentioned earlier on, 1 drop is the equivalent of the equivalent of 28 drops. Oh my God, I can't even speak today. 1 drop of peppermint is the equivalent of 28 cups of peppermint tea. So if you want digestive support, you can just have 1 drop of peppermint in a glass of water. You can do a mouth throat gargle. with essential oils. So I had a bit of a sore throat the last couple of days. I just gargled some On Guard and some oregano, and it just completely soothes it. You can also support your urogenital tract as well. So when we think about like flushing things out, when we take oils internally, it's going to support with all of that. And they're also a great way to be able to flavor food, water, coffee. Wild orange and coffee is delicious out if anyone's a coffee lover. So I've just put a couple of examples there, how you can use your essential oils internally. So, maybe just have a look and see what resonates for you, or if you'd like to try any of those recipes. So that is kind of, the overview of what an essential oil is, the difference with the grades, how they work on us when we think about our emotions, and how they work on us on a cellular level. And then the 3 ways that we can use oils. So there's literally, those are just like a handful of kind of the most common oils that I mentioned. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to share with you like how you get started with oils. So I have a selection of kits available on my website, alisonclark.ie. But what I have is I've selected 3 of my favorite kits, and I'm just going to walk you through them really quickly to explain what's in them. So my favorite kit personally, like I'm sure if you're watching from the community, you know that I say that this is what I believe everyone in the world needs, the Home Essentials kit. It basically contains the top 10 essential oils, the most multi-versatile essential oils and blends. And this kit will help alleviate like 90% of the different things that a typical family will experience. Stress, anxiousness, sleep, digestive problems, respiratory problems, so like coughs, flus, like discomfort. So you have a solution for all of that within the kit. So you can see there, it's got lemon, lavender, peppermint, oregano, tea tree, frankincense, and then we have the blends in there as well that are specifically formulated and designed to create an output. So for example, doTERRA and their chemistry team looked at all of the essential oils that were supportive for the immune system, and they wanted to create something that is protective. So they designed a blend of essential oils, so the most potent oils when it comes to supporting the immune system, and combined them together very synergistically to create that output. So for example, that's what On Guard is, it's protective. Similarly with Deep Blue, what are the most soothing essential oils when it comes to pain and discomfort, and a blend of them. Again, the respiratory system, what are the best essential oils when it comes to the respiratory system? And what I love about the blend Air, actually, just to mention, is that like when I think about my son, when he has, a cough, whether it's a dry or chesty cough, I know there's different cough bottles you can get, one for chesty, one for dry. Whereas really the blends aren't designed to create something specific. It's about bringing that body system back into balance. So for Air, it's about bringing the respiratory system back into balance, irrespective of what type of respiratory problem it is that's going on. And similarly, again, with Zengest, the digestive blend, it's got, peppermint and fennel and star anise and all these really lovely, soothing essential oils for the digestive system. And it also comes with a petal diffuser. So it's a great way of using your oils, as I mentioned, aromatically in your home. So this kit is $286. And, I actually broke down the kit. And if you were to buy these essential oils, it would cost separately, not within a kit, it would cost you over €500. So that's what I love about the kits. They're bundled, so you get the most value. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Home Essentials kit, because it is the best value. So perfect for you if you are value-minded and also you want to get the most multi-versatile oils. I think everyone needs most multi-versatile, because we don't know what it is that we, what every day is going to kind of throw at us, whether it's stress or whether it's sleeplessness or whether it's, we need some immune support, and it has a bit of everything in it. The next kit is called the Aroma Touch Diffused Kit. So it is a beautiful oil when we think about supporting the body kind of when we think about, topical use. So Aroma Touch is a technique that was developed by doTERRA, which is kind of like a massage technique. So it's the application of essential oils to the body. However, this kit contains many of the essential oils that we've gone through already. So when we think about, On Guard is in there, lavender is very, very calming. The grounding blend Balance is in there, peppermint, the soothing blend Deep Blue. So these bottles are 5 ml, so it's more of kind of like a sampling. So 5 ml is about, it's about 70 drops. And then if we think about the Home Essentials kit, the bottles are 15 ml, so it's 3 times the amount in those bottles. But the Aroma Touch Diffuse Kit is great because you have like a lovely sampling of 8 oils. You have a diffuser, and you also have fractionated coconut oil in there as well. So fractionated coconut oil is just, when it comes to diluting, that it's, that we're able to dilute, perfect for kids. And also, if you don't want to use the oils neat, you have a lovely way to be able to dilute for more sensitive skin. And then this kit I adore. So this is called the Daily Habits Kit, and it's a combination of essential oils plus supplements. So the purpose of these supplements is that the essential oils, because they can be taken internally, doTERRA have actually combined the essential oils in with supplements. So if you've been around if you're watching from the Life Switch Co, you know how much I talk about how we have to nurture and, fuel our body from a cellular level, particularly when it comes to nutrition. If you're feeling, fatigued, if you're not sleeping well, if you are, if you're feeling run down a lot of the time, it's very possible that there's possibly like deficit in some way, but being able to nurture your body from a nutritional standpoint is really important when we want to feel good. So when we think about our bodies, we have, our brain, we think logically with our brain, but also our gut is our second brain. We have all those neurotransmitters, that create our happy hormones like serotonin. Our immune system is in our gut. So when we think about what our gut has to deal with day in, day out with like food and eating and, what it is that we're giving ourselves and fueling ourselves with, our body and our gut still needs to be nurtured. So when we think about like even probiotics and giving our gut all that good bacteria that it needs. So the beautiful thing about the Daily Habits Kit is that it's got your oils. So you've got, beautiful blends in there, like your Balance, and you've got your Deep Blue, and also your frankincense and your lavender and your On Guard. So beautiful oils that are brilliant for day-to-day use, but you also have the nutritional supplements to really nurture your body and feel great. And doTERRA actually stand over their nutrition. And if you don't feel like you've gotten more energy and you're sleeping better and you're feeling more energized and your mood has improved, they basically give you your money back. So I love that, all of those guarantees are there and they basically stand over it. So those are the 3 kits. So that's, there's different ways that you can get started, but those are the top 3. You can absolutely kind of cherry pick what it is that you like. However, those are my top 3. And as you get started with your oils, you get access to the Life Switch Co, which is my lifestyle and wellness community. It is home to hundreds and hundreds of women who are, really raising the bar on their health. And within the Life Switch Co, we have loads of different resources. We have monthly workshops. We have brilliant guests in. Like last month, we had a biological dentist. This month, we have an amazing trauma coach coming in. And with it, we have resources and ebooks, and we have modules, and there's so much there. So whatever it is that you're interested in working on when it comes to your wellness, there is resources and modules there. We've like 25 modules. And within it, there's support with Q&A. So I'm in there, my colleagues and my team are in there. So whatever questions you have, because when you're doing something new, it's important, right, that you have support and someone that can guide you and lead you on your way. So with that, you get access to all of that and signature programs that I run within the Life Switch Co. Here's just a little sample of, I think, how many pictures are there? 1, 2, 3. So there's just a couple. There's that's just a sample of the type of content that's within the modules, just to give you a bit of an idea. And also when you get started with your oils or with your kit, you get a personalized wellness consult with me. So you get a 45-minute Zoom with me personally, and we design and we curate a day in the life of you. Like, you're the expert of your life. You know what you're impacted with day to day. You know what your challenges are. And I bring together my health coaching, my executive coaching, and we create rituals, routines that are going to help and support you in thriving and working towards your wellness goals. So they help you with emotional support, physical support. And these are a couple of ideas of like what my clients come to me with. These are, some people might come with sleep challenges. Some people might find it really hard to like manage their emotions and deal with stress. Some people want to completely low tox their home and reduce their toxic exposure. So there's loads of different ways that you can integrate your oils. As I mentioned, they're extremely multi-versatile. So those are a couple of ideas and areas and where they can fit into. So that's my wellness philosophy personally, is making sure that you're kind of always working on elevating those areas. So how do you order? Well, you purchase your starter kit over on AlisonClarke.ie, or if you're like, okay, I'd love something really, really curated and really personal, or maybe like to combine a few of them together, you can connect in with me personally and I can help custom design a kit for you and your needs. And when you get started, you get immediate access to the Life Switch Co. So we have a private Facebook community and we have a separate members portal if you're not on Facebook. And you can schedule your lifestyle overview and we can get you rocking and rolling and feeling better. So if we are not already connected, these are just a couple of handles for my social platforms and my email address is there. So if we haven't connected before, I'd love to hear from you. Pop me an email or send me a DM on Instagram. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope that was useful. I'm excited to welcome, new members into the Life Switch Co. I'm excited to guide women as they elevate in their wellness journey and start to feel better. And yeah, it's a really great place to be in. The wellness community can make huge, massive impact on so many different people. So thank you everyone for joining us. I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to go into our Facebook chat now and see if anyone has any questions. So have a great day and I will talk to you soon.